that he wants to go through. So the plan for today is to be interactive. I see that we've got almost 20 people on the call here from Nigeria, from Mauritius, from Uganda, from Botswana, from India, from South Africa, from Qatar. I don't know where you are, Hassan, but I'm assuming you're at home in Qatar. So welcome to the world. Welcome, everybody. And this is what I love to see. This is what MEPA Bridge is all about. So welcome, 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 welcome. A little bit of housekeeping. If you're able to, we'd love to see you and we'd love to see where you are. So if you can have your cameras on, that would be great. I'll ask you to stay on mute. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. As I said, we want to keep this session interactive. Productivity is a vast topic and we really don't want to go over things that you're not interested in. So please feel free to drop a question in the chat. If Aabhinna feels like, you know, I'll hand the reins over to him. If he wants to dive into a topic that we're getting questions about, then we can go in that direction. No problem. We're very flexible today. So we're all here because we're here to learn about productivity and how to get more out of the limited time that we have. But a question that came up during my sessions with Aabhinna is why? How often do we think about why we're doing what we do? So I'd like you to take a moment to think about why you're interested in productivity. And I'm going to pick on a few people here, and I'm just going to use my moderator privileges to pick on somebody, but I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Think about the question. The question is about why do you do what you do? And when is enough enough? When is productivity the end goal? So the question is, how do you define enough? I'll go ahead and give you my version of this. I'm very passionate about productivity, and sometimes I get burnt out by being overproductive. And the balance I find in my life is when I know I've had enough, when A, I can sleep through the night at peace, and B, I wake up full of joy and gratitude. But it's transient for me. It ebbs and flows. Enough is not a constant thing. I constantly have to reflect on it. So I'm going to pick on somebody. Andrew Brown from Johannesburg. When is enough enough for you?
Sure. Enough for me is actually something that I'm really passionate about is being efficient. So using my time as efficiently as possible. I'm also quite lazy. So the idea of being productive and doing call it the minimum amount of work to achieve what I need to achieve, and then to have time, leisure time left over. So, and I know I didn't quite answer your question, what is enough? I suppose enough is just feeling that I'm fulfilled in my life. So productivity can get me there by making me more efficient, or as efficient as possible. I love the concept of German efficiency, or even Japanese efficiency.
That's a great answer and a great perspective. Thank you very much, Andrew. Lere Bale, when is enough enough for you?
Thank you, Nikhil. When I'm able to achieve some goals that are not particularly focused on important things that are not hoarded, I spend quality time there, and I focus on the most essential things. I don't need to do everything, but if I'm able to do those things that are important to me but not urgent, and I do them well enough, then that gives me some deep satisfaction upon reflection.
So connecting with your goals, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'll do one more. I'm going to pick Brian Achuen from Mauritius. When is enough?
For me, it's trying to prioritize the things I have to do. I've read all the books that you have to write it in the morning, the important stuff you have to do, but sometimes I get bogged down with all the minor things, emails, reminders, and when I read the topic, I said, yeah, this is for me because I want the solution. I want to get the solution today.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And you've all touched on something which I'm glad on, is that all of us are high achievers. We may want to be modest, but I consider everybody in this call a superstar. So we all have mastered the art of getting things done. We all know how to achieve goals and overcome obstacles. But oftentimes we get so focused on the productivity piece of it that we often don't zoom out and think about why we're doing what we're doing. So a lot of what I heard is about goals. It's about finding peace. It's about having time for leisure. So that's why we're here. You know, we want to make the most out of the time that we've allocated to a specific task and hopefully minimize that. You know, so time is the greatest measure of wealth. We all have the same amount of hours in the day. And today, Aabhinna is going to show us how to get that 25th hour out of the day. At this point, I think I want to give you the steering wheel, Aabhinna. So let's take it in. Let's dive in. And like I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions, you can either raise your hand or put it in the chat, and then we'll take it from there. Over to you, Aabhinna. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil, and hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning from wherever you are joining. And it's a privilege to address to you all. And let's not waste time and be productive, and let's dive deep into it, what we want to talk today, right? I have a presentation and I will try to be productive. I hope it's visible, and we are starting. Great. So I want to start with a very simple thing: is productivity is not about time management. That's the first thing that we all need to agree to, right? And when I say that, right, this is how life is, handcuffed into our phones, into our devices. And in fact, as wearing the hat of a marketer, I would say there are no teenagers, but only screenagers. And the world is filled with people who see screens, right? So I get up in the morning, my alarm clock goes on in my mobile screen, and then I do a few things, take my iPad, do certain things on my laptop, replies to something, go back, there is a TV match going on, and then it's all about screens. So we are living in a world of screenagers, right? Now, when we say that, what are we going to cover in next 45 minutes is into 3 parts. So first is understanding certain myths of productivity, so 7 habits of highly productive people. So you are highly competitive, great achievers, but there are 7 habits of highly productive people. So we'll look into that, and we'll look at a system to build a mindset that works. Then we will dive deep into note-taking, calendar management, email management, notification management, which is actually the heat of the things. And there are a lot of things which you may also be doing right now. So you will see certain areas where you are following it, and you will see certain areas where you are missing it. So it's a mix of what works. And in part 3, we will talk about extremely advanced practice you can use. And depending on your questions, we can dive deep. So Nikhil has been, extremely grateful to give me time to take that and how to structure this. So thank you. And Alex, before I begin, it's Alex is a superstar. She can manage anything from anywhere, right? So hats off there. And so let's get into the first part very clearly. This is one point, and I love what Brian said, and I want you to live with this thought. Productivity is mastering the art of forgiving yourself. Just let that be with you for a second. There will always be things which super achievers will not forgive themselves. And productivity is actually mastering the art of forgiving yourself. And this comes from Nikhil and the conversation we were having yesterday. So I would be very honest here that this is not how I was starting, right? But this thought was so profound yesterday evening when we were having a question that productivity is actually mastering the art of forgiving yourself, right? And from here we get into the process, the 7 habits, right? What are those 7 habits of highly productive people, and what are the underlying principles? So first thing first, organized people do not rely on their brain to store too much information. Brain is not built to store information. That is the first principle. We know, but we don't follow it, right? Even the great David Allen said, your brain is for having ideas, not for storing them. So what we really need to do is build a system, right? Now, when we get to the system, we get to the second part. Organized people use system that they can trust. Now, what is a trustable system, right? Trustable system has certain qualities. A trustable system is backable. So the moment I say this, your diaries and notes go away for toss, because it's very rare that they are backable and they are not searchable and they're not labeled. So once you get into the system and the way you will manage things, you want a system that you can trust. On the third part, you have to realize that organized people actually build the concept of mindfulness. When I say mindfulness, it is not related to the extreme level. So this organization mindfulness is actually into 3 layers. Level 1 is layer of connectivity, right? Like for example, I know that I have a very important meeting at 6:30. And I know that traffic is very high in the evening on these particular roads where I have to reach. So my whole day, important meetings will happen on the first half. And this you may be doing yourself because you have built that level of mindfulness, right? The extreme level and then the second level actually of mindfulness is when you actually let the other person know, or the other dependencies, right, that this is where your change of timing is happening. So for example, I am about to meet Nikhil at 7 o'clock. And I know that he also has a busy schedule, right? I will cross check at 5:30. I hope our meeting is on. This simple mindfulness can actually give a lot of time to you from your calendar. And it works wonders when you have multiple people to manage reports, right? And multiple people to, work on business deals. It works for me when I have bosses whose calendar changes my calendar a lot, right? So this mindfulness helps there. On habit 4, productive people build systems that are very easily searchable and easily organizable. So imagine getting into a note app where you cannot search every discussion I had on with Nikhil over last 5 years, right? If I can do that, then I am talking about a lot of things. So it's many times it happens with you that you connect with someone, look at his face and say, I have seen this person, but I just can't recall where, right? Because it's not searching. Because remember, habit 1, your brain is not to store information, but you have used it to store information, right? It is to think of ideas, right? Habit 5 is 2 is 1, 1 is none. Even when you have a system which is backup, many people use their MacBook or an iPhone, which is not connected, to figure out and make system and write notes there. What you need is a backup. So use systems which are on cloud, use systems which are not on your devices, just on devices which is not getting updated, right? Mac solves it for a lot of level. When you take notes on one of your device, it is there on your iPad, it is there on your MacBook. What happens is there are a lot of other things that you would want to do as a backup. Say, for example, you are not able to log in to that system that time. What are you going to do? Is there a cloud management system that you can deploy? And we will discuss about those systems as we progress. So have backup. This is the rule: 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? Habit 6, you organize based on your experience. So we all in our lives have our own experiences which are positive and negative, which decide how we will organize our life. Some people are super organized in terms of their calendar, but they are very disorganized when it comes to their eating habits. Some people are too conscious of their eating habits, but they are very unconscious of what words do they speak when they meet the prospective people or a client, right? Because that's what come out. So organized people understand that there is a system which works for them, right? And they organize it basis that experience. And finally, habit 7, you follow it like a chef, a Michelin star chef. You take thing from where it is and put it back to where it is. So that model which our ancestors have taught to arrange things before going to sleep and putting things in order actually works. It actually makes sense. So these are the 7 habits, very hard principles, simple ones, and I'm sure many of you follow this. Now get to the heat of things, of tools, right? One super hack which actually works, and it is by Robin Sharma from his 200 hours mastery program, 90-90-1 rule. For the next 90 days, your first 90 minutes at work, make it focused on your single most important project. This super hack works for all projects that you are trying to implement. It works for anything you are procrastinating, and it is something which every top leader who has done a course from Robin S. Sharma will vouch for. Next 90 days, your first 90 minutes at work, make it focused on your single most important project. Because what we really do in productivity, and we are super productive. So, it's very tough to fool yourself because you are very smart. So you build great excuses because you are smart people. So it is smart people have a problem because they are not single. They are not alone. There are always 2 people inside them. There are 2 brains, right? And in fact, if you have seen the movie The Last Samurai, where Tom Cruise is actually trying to fight and the samurai master comes and he says, why I am not able to win? And he says, because you have 2 minds. So the fundamental thing that solves here is because you are smart, it is very easy for you to fool yourself. And the solution to that is controlling via 90-90-1 rule. For the next 90 days, your first 90 minutes at work, make it focused on your single most important project, period, right? And it has to be 90 days. So coming to the second part, building your personal productive digital ecosystem, how to go about it. Notes taking. This is what all of you keep doing throughout your life, throughout your working time, non-working time, putting up things on paper. Somebody loves their own handwriting. So we have figured out what works, right? There are 3 systems I have put in order, and all 3 are different in their approach. Right? Number 1 system is Notion. I am extremely into Notion, and I will take you through a live example of how I have built everything on Notion for myself. Will also help you guys if you would want to build a Notion for yourself, right? Notion is overall best note taking, overall management system to follow up with people. You can scale to as many number of people. It is on mobile, it is on desktop, it is on Mac, it is on Windows, it works on Linux. It allows you to send notifications to your employees, to your reportees. It lets you see their work, what their work is happening, and it lets you organize everything in order, and it has a database. OneNote, extremely good tool if you are a Microsoft person and you like to take notes, because it lets you label them very easily. The problem is they don't have a lot of integrations, though you have to be into the ecosystem of Outlook or Microsoft, and it fails at a lot of automation. So in the advanced strategy, if you really want to automate a lot of emails, like one of the email is, I can give somebody an approval of $5,000 without me looking into what it is. So I have built a system where anything the cost is written up to 5,000 and the word approval is written, that email automatically sends okay. That's all I have to do, right? What it does is it just checks anything less than $5,000 and return the word approval. And from these 10 people I trust, just approve it. Don't think about it, right? Just send me at the end of the week on my review that these are the people whom I have approved, just to know that these are the approvals which have happened, right? And then finally, notability. What notability does is, if you are an Apple guy and you are into pencil writing, stylus, your Apple Pencil, and you like to write notes, notability beats everything else. You can search, you can actually write everything, right? Yeah, Aditya. So I will take this question, Aditya, just after this this slide. On notability, let me just finish that. On notability, what happens is, if you're writing notes, it can convert it into a written document. You can just circle it and actually select convert to text. So your handwriting, and over time it reads your handwriting, understands what you are writing and how you write. So you don't have to worry about, whether you are writing right nicely or not. It will adopt and learn. And that can you create this, but then you have to use that ecosystem and be there. Absolutely. And to answer you, Adit, absolutely right, that if everyone in your organization is not comfortable and not as effective, then you are not able to roll out. But trust me, I have rolled out Notion in my organization. There are roughly 3,200 people who now end up relying. The solution we have figured out is, you go to the bosses and then the 3 level down. If top and other 2 wants, they ask the bottom ones to write it for them. And then they get used to it because they don't take notes, right? So that has worked in our organization, and happy to have a further discussion on this. Now, these are not the only 3 ones for you to use. You have alternatives. So Notion alternative is Evernote, Coda, and Task. These are the 3 which works very good. Again, have their own set of limitations. We can dwell deeper into it. OneNote, if you are not a OneNote guy but want to go in Mac but don't want to use Notion, there is Bear, very good. People who are into Bear are more visual appealing. They want a very good UX is what, and then the notes. And then on Notability, you can actually take Good Notes, which is a competitor of Notability. Again, you need a stylus. And then Google Workplace. They are also trying to have a lot of add-ons to do it. So Google Keep works. But the problem with Google Keep that I have figured out while doing it is, not everybody is using an Android. So their default note-taking system is not on Android. So when you give it to your reportees, right, they don't take it as notes. So you end up being a secretary to all of the other people to make their systems. And eventually one day you get very irritated and say, come, let me do it for you, right? So I said, the problem of smart people, it's very easy to fool yourself, right? And one question I'm just getting is I read, and something which I was also asked, Abhin, if you are so happy, if you are so successful, why are you not happy? So for all the systems around, people call me very successful, and they ask me, if you are so successful, why are you not happy? It has to be other way around. If you are happy, then you have to be successful, but that's not how we have scaled our world. So coming back, right? I hope I am able to make sense till now. Thumbs up, or because I am not able to see everyone. Okay, great. Okay, so let's get to the next part, right? Fundamental of how to decide a note-taking app, right? It should be available with you always. It must be handy. It has to be backable. Backup systems, you rely on system that is labeled and searchable, and they have to have a consistent design UI UX. Why most people change is they want change. See, there are 2 types of people in world. First part of people are successful people are people who are into performance, right? Like they are athlete, right? Their world is about not bringing lot of change, but incremental changes to reach their goal. But for the other achievers, they are map makers. They are not map followers. Map makers thrive in chaos. The problem again, the bias, people who thrive in chaos always look for chaos, as if like chaos attracts to them. Like if you long gaze at the abyss start gazing back at you. And that's how life is, right? So if you eventually see, we all have got roughly 30,000 odd days on this relatively unknown planet called Earth, parked in this very remote galaxy, and we are living in this own our world, right? So 30,000 odd days on this planet called Earth. If you live 90 years, multiply by 365, it still comes to 28,000. Now we are trying to be productive in this time, right? That core time. So you want to build a system which is letting you do these three things and can be actually copied by other. So if I download Notion, and when I say Notion, why I say it, because if I have to download Notion, my teammate also have to download, my other parties also have to download whom I daily work with. And that's why my notes are there, right? Going back, live note-taking system on Notion, I will show you at the end as the time permits. We'll move on to the next part of it, right? Coming to calendar management, it is 1st December. We are starting today, a brilliant date, because that's when you go to gym, that's when you don't eat trash. First is a brilliant date, right? And then there are emails which have already started coming to you. 30 days left for this new year. What are your plans, right? Trust me, there are 3 key calendar management systems out there, and you can summarize all this here. There is Google. Excellent if you are into Google ecospace. So you are using Google Keep, you are using Google App, email, you are using ecospace. Though there is a complete unbundling of Google happening. The world is seeing an unbundling of Google, right? And Notion is actually unbundling of Google, right? The second is Outlook. Outlook has really made tremendous progress. It's not, we say a joke that I will meet you, let me search your address on Internet Explorer, right? So this is a classic nerd joke, where you know that once you open a Internet Explorer, you can go for a nice evening and still it might be opening, right? So, but Outlook has really improved both in terms of UI, UX and usage. So I use Outlook because my whole system company uses Outlook, and I will show you live how it is used. And if you want a paid app, which is way ahead in UI, UX, it also comes with a contact management, because that is one area which is waiting to be disrupted. Contact management is very bad in our everybody system. There is no rules. No one knows. Many people have tried. It doesn't work. So that is there. I have few questions here. Evernote for me too. Yes, Nikhil. And Notion has a brilliant plugin called Move from Evernote to Notion by one click, right? I have moved from Evernote to Notion. Yes, Aditya, it connects with your Google Drive and it connects with a lot of other integrations, and I can discuss on that. And it can link to particular folders. And yeah, Mr. Abjani, yes, Notion is on iCloud. Evernote is like, Evernote is dead because of Notion. If you ask today people, they will vouch for Notion, right? They have not updated certain things which are required, and I will show you. And then coming back to Fantastical, if you want to use a paid app, very good UI, UX and card management, this is what it is. I have used all of them. Calendar management is system like there it was ABC. Here it is SMS. So I'm giving you hooks to remember. Calendar management is any calendar, use it, but you have to stick with it, right? It has to be on your mobile so that you can manage it easily, and it has to be shareable amongst your team. People should, whom you need to reach out, they should be able to book a slot of yours when they want, right? And you have to realize that there are certain rules to this calendars, right? 4 simple things. This is my live calendar of today. I will show you in the live section. Use very simple, easy color coding. Don't have more than 3 calendars. Please do not have kids calendar different, wife's calendar different, better half's calendar different, office calendar different, then personal calendar different, holiday calendar in India different, holiday calendar in London different, weather calendar, because these all are, many of them are pre-installed, right? Have 3 calendars, not more than that. You have to follow the rule that if it is not in your calendar, it is not in your life. That is the bottom line. And please use green as done, yellow as missed, and red as not going to do, right? Why I am saying is because we are so attuned to the universe of framing us as green as done. When you will have 60 things, 70 things as 70%, 80% greenery around on your calendar, it's like giving a pat to yourself virtually, right? And you really feel that when you see green, right? I have few questions. Yes, Aditya, yes. If you have, if your organization is completely on Google Workplace, please use Google Workplace 100%. 100% be on it, right? This is my live calendar. If you see, this is 1st of December, how my schedule looks, everything on green, everything of my life is red is personal life, pink, in fact, and blue is office, and they end up becoming green. I'll show you live in the section, right? Coming to the another monster, email management, right? And now this is a system which you have all mastered. You know what works. There is a great debate on what works. And if you hear these guys, if these are your heroes and they make you feel good, then there is a system which they use to clear their inboxes. I am not very sure if this is a PR activity. Maybe, right? Because we do PR, right? But many of them have followed this for a duration of time and then developed their own system. Please remember, productivity is about mastering the art of forgiving yourself. The problem in this process, which is known as inbox zero, many of you have heard, is you are not able to forgive yourself. And you are filled with guilt that, do I spend time with the family or actually go and do an inbox zero? Because if you don't do this, again, smart people, you have all the reasons for guilt, right? Simple concept for people who don't know, every day ensure you are at a zero inbox. Any email that comes, you go to is to do, it's awaiting response, delegated, read later, or done or archive. This is the process you follow, very simple. Everybody has their own answers to inbox zero. There is a lot of people who have complained of burnout of this. I have left inbox zero because of burnout at a time and then come back to it because I am more sane when I know that my inbox is taken care, right? At the end of the day, it feels like finishing all the checklist to do, and it makes you feel very happy, right? Probably this is a better dopamine hit than posting a photo on Instagram and getting 27 likes, right? Because one thing that I have to realize, and which obviously brings me to the next point, notifications. The real monster of your life is notifications. There is no way you can win notification game. There is no way. There are hundreds and thousands and lakhs of super smart engineers sitting at Google, Facebook, Twitter, whose only job is to take your attention away from you. And you can't beat them. There is only one way to beat this monster, is being always on is killing you. You have to have time in your calendar, which is cutoff times. And this also comes from a book of Indistractable. the guy who wrote The Nudge, the same person who wrote a book on how to give excellent notification, has come up with another book, Indistractable, of how to be indistractable. So it's like both ways. So he has won the game, right? There can only be two kinds of people, who are distracted and those who are not distracted. And he has written a book for both of them, right? But Neer Nayal, the author of it, has worked very closely with a guy called Carl Newport, whose book is known as Deep Work, which actually comes from a lot of research of how people stipulated a time of high productivity for their time. And it comes to Robin Sharma quote, 90-90-10, one rule, putting it to that, right? The only way is ask yourself the simple question. Open your phones, see the apps, ask them, does this app allows me to interrupt my focus time? This app allows me to interrupt my focus time. Because you are a smart people, please know you have to play a game with your own self, your own second brain, right? Unless you put yourself out of the context, deleting that app will lead you to sink cost fallacy. Suddenly the value of a book increases the moment somebody asks for it. So there may be a book lying in your home and you have not touched it for a couple of years. But if somebody says, a guest, can I borrow this book? You suddenly have a very high value of that book, right? And you remember all your notes and your lines and who gave you. Otherwise, you would have never taken it up. So again, beat yourself in there, right? We'll take few points. Yes, Carl Newport, put off notification. Absolutely right. This is your most important button on your phone. Please end all notifications. Allow notification should be shut off. For iPhone, iOS also have. Even on phone calls, create a group. Now iOS lets you a focus group where you add 5-7 people in your life. Only those people can reach out to you. Rest nobody phone rings. And I have noticed that most of the time, unknown numbers are spam. I don't know if it happens internationally for all, but in India, it is true, right? DND does not work, right? So just stop these notifications. Now, coming to part 3, very quickly on the advanced strategies, right? FocusMate. I don't know how many of you know this tool. Fantastic tool. You will laugh what it does, but they are actually making money, right? It's a virtual co-working space. And how does that work, right? It's pretty simple. You decide that now from 7:30 India time to 8:30 you want to work. Select this time. They will send you a mail to confirm your session. You launch your video session. You will have a partner right in front who will declare your goal as well as his goal. So for next 1 hour, I am going to sit and type, right? And both of you will get to work. And these are randomly unknown people. You get work done quietly in tandem with your focus mate and experience the power of human accountability. And the point to note, friends, is they charge $5 per session, right? And they make money, right? Simple. Smart people paying other people, because when you look into eyes of each other, right? In this room, we are roughly 30 people. When you look into eyes of each and you have only one person in place, it's very tough. 2 people focused, other person is going to ask you what is happening. You can just search focusmate.com. That will work. And I will also send you the link. Obviously, there is an option in India. So what you do is you can change the country to India if you want, or they have launched the international also. They'd say $5 unlimited session for a month. So that is very good. It is nothing but you see human accountability into action, right? Second, you guys attend Zoom meetings a lot, right? What you have to do in Zoom meetings is just get to Zoom meetings or go to any meeting, start your system, open docs.new. This is Google Doc, right? So just open your Chrome, go there. The simple app to start is docs.new. This will open. Click on tools. There will be a voice typing, right? Just go there and start saying and let it be on. Don't say anything. Everything people say in the room, just click this button, will get recorded. It will ask you this. You obviously allow, right? Whatever is being said. So Google voice typing feature works pretty well. And it even lets you add punctuations using voice commands. You can do whatever you want. So even though mistakes are there, but they are likely to occur, but it still is a great to create those very quickly tools. So you let people do what they want and it will work, right? Third point, if you are a music guy, third strategy, focus at the rate of will. This is a science optimized music paid tool, right? To help you focus and make you work. So this people vouch for it. I've used once. I prefer a particular kind of music, which is Indian classical, which I could not get here to focus on. But on a very large scale, if you want to see some music, you can try. They will keep changing it. They are also developing a tool which will tie up with your Apple Watch to see how your heart is palpating and your how your vitals are, and basis that will keep optimizing doing that. So that is another thing that you can actually use. Yes, focus mode. Thank you, Safa. Right. Last, right, Otter. For all Zoom meeting, just get this as an add-on. Proper word by word. So if Google Voice is what you don't want, but you want your teams to send you minutes of meeting, who said what without your presence, get this thing. You will thank me always. Just say that any meetings that you guys do, please invite Otter. It will verbatim copy, paste, write it and send you notes just after. So otter.ai is also a tool which gets added. Like we are 27 people, 28th people will be added as otter.ai. And they will take all the notes from the meeting of what word they say. They understand all the accent. So no problem with somebody is from India, somebody is from US, UK, you name it, they will get it. Brilliant tool. We use in our design thinking a lot to get transcription done very quickly and then put it on Grammarly. So these are some advanced activities that work, right? And I will close it here on the point with the again bringing this slide. Productivity is mastering the art of forgiving yourself. Learn the art of forgiving yourself, and that's the best you can do for yourself. So very quickly, I hope I am dot on time. 2 minutes is what we took. 1 minute and a half was Nikhil, and we are exactly 45th minute. I hope my productive time was right on.
That was perfect. 100%. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aabhinna. I think there was a lot of takeaways in that one for me. I really like the tools that you shared with us. I'm dying to see your Notion notebook because I'm an Evernote fan. I've been an Evernote early adopter. I've used it in so many different ways. I've wandered away and I've always come back. And when they reinvented themselves and fired their CEO and released a new app, I was furious. I hated it, and I still have problems with it. So please show us your Notion notebook.
Sure. Let's get to Notion. So ASK is what I am, Aabhinna Khare. So this is my life, ASK Master Tracker. My everything and anything is here. So my personal life, OKRs, my progress, my action, my vision, my daily reflections, weekly review, watch list. These are some movies and things which my friends always say, go and watch it, but I can't, but I have to know it. So that goes into my watch list. There is to-do list, later list, and just do it list. These are my notes tracker, finance, habit, weight, books and course, my personal CRM and super teams. And then this is my office things. Now, let me show you how I manage my teams, right? One of the team that I had is digital team doing transformation in the company. This is how everything is there, and these are the teammates. So you see there is Anubhav, Puna, Misha, Pranika, Anushka, Vidhi, Chad. These are the set of people who are there. This is week number 47 going of this year, if you can see. So what I do is on a Sunday, I write to them, these are the 3 top things I want from you on this Sunday, on this week to do. Now, let's see, go to my AVP product, Chahat, and this is what she is doing. And this is her calendar day by day and week on week. So this is her week score OKR. We have discussed and fixed that this week, which will end on 4th of December, right? Today is 1st of December. What she is going to do is these are the 8 things which she is going to move, right? These are the 8 key things. This is what we have discussed, right? These 8 things, if I want to see what she is doing today, right, I can just click here and see these are the task which is on her plate, which she is doing. And when the day will end, what she will do is actually put up here. So she has a call with PwC, which is our partner in implementing. She has some doubts on onboarding document. She has a 3-month delivery plan to be made for the product. She has a fantastic talk, which we do. She has a PMO points, etc., etc. Now, what it does for me, if I can show you, is the typical point of knowing what these people are doing when. So all I have to do is the 4-hour work week management of Tim Ferriss. The productivity is a stripped down version of how I manage. All I have to do is for the whole week, right? I have to not put more than 4 hours to manage all the teammates. I can go back to any date. I can go to any time and I can see what she was doing. So if I have to see what she was doing on October week 39, these were the tasks, and she has also done status and what is the priority. And the whole idea of OKR system that you know is to take things which will not close. So it is not 100% task closure. So her day gets closed, but the task moves on to, or the projects move on to next week, right? So I'm not getting into OKR system. What it also does is these are whole teammates. So everybody knows exactly, and they have certain tasks open on me. So they can actually show our task on ASK. So they open task on me, right? That this is your task. Whenever you get time, please go and do this task. They also get to read what I am thinking. So, one of the key problem is there is a huge churn for me in a digital world. When the teammates are churning, there is great opportunity out there. Everybody is moving, coming. So the biggest problem is letting people come at pace. So I have written a document called Working with ASK, right? This was last updated 14th October, and it highlights what working with me on an average week look like. How do I manage? What is my nuances or errata? What triggers me? So if you see, doing work without knowing why and why now triggers me, you will get it from me. Not doing meeting and coming to home, not doing homework and coming to meeting will irritate me. Long tea breaks, long lunch breaks, I can't tolerate them, right? It will be done when it will be done is not tolerable. I'm just showing you a piece of how my teams look at everything, right? If they are transitioning me from some other teams, right? Then there is a culture thing which happens, and most of the people end up talking bad about the other bosses, and it's an energy sucker for me. So it is written that don't gossip or say a word about your previous boss, neither to me nor to anyone. It is not acceptable. So, and they can keep giving me feedback, right? How I am, what is my macro, what this does is, and then whatever new I find in my systems, right? I actually tell them, so what I think on marketing, what is weekly things, what are strategy planning happening, what some special instructions are happening, thinking how to think. So this is how my team happens. And all teams, I will tell you, this is $5 per month for me as administrator, and then it is free for my team. So every member of the team, it is free. But I am the master administrator who is only paying $5 per month, right? And if you are moving from Evernote, 2 years will be free. Okay, 2 years are free, right?
You'll get your commission.
No, then I have to share you the link if you do it via my link. But if you normally do it, that's how they do, because they are moving people from Evernote, right? Why I say you use Notion, right? Or you take my notes, or say a book or a course. There is a book that you guys are about to meet, Mr. Morgan Housel, right? So this is the book, The Psychology of Money, which I actually read on 1st of December, and it took me 28 days because that's my schedule, right? I let it sink. I have 16 insights and 5 actionables from the book, which is noted here. And it has also what are notes to me actionable for self. So you will see that exercise, spend time with daughter, travel and do things that make you happier. Right. This is one of the key takeaway of compounding works in all areas of life. Right. Or calculate your enough money. Luck is a factor we can't copy. So those kind of things. So I keep my notes. If I'm doing a course on certain area, like I'm doing a course from Kellogg's on leading with analytics. So all the notes that I take of what they are saying, what it is all here, right? What it does is, if I have to go to quick find and I write SB, so I will have everything from Mr. Sanjeev Bajaj that somewhere is mentioned on the doc, right? So even if you go to a MEPA events of Sanjeev Bajaj, I can actually open and see how the calendar was built first time on this date, and then it changed, right? All I have to do is be searchable, and then I bring my whole team into it. So everybody, every top person, and then there is way that we can do an Eisenhower matrix. So what priority, what is happening? So there are endless templates that are available here, right? Now, very quickly, going to my calendar, right? This is how this calendar looks, right? I have one calendar, which is office. There is one calendar, which is personal, and there is one calendar of Sanjeev Jha, right? What it does is helps me see how his time is scheduled to schedule my key things that I don't miss, right? These greens are the things that I have done. These orange, yellow ones are the ones I missed this week. And this week, today, this is what will get closed at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, I color mark and categorize everything. So what it does is, if there is any change, so if you see this is what is currently going on, and we are 4 minutes, and then there will be another discussion, right? Connecting with people or a spillover, right? What it does is puts everything on a perspective, and I know this is my calendar and my team has this. So they can see my schedule and block time according to my availability, right? So I hope, Nikhil, that's a good deep dive.
We could spend another hour on this, and I've got a few questions
Yes.
here, but unfortunately we have run out of time. What I would suggest, if anybody would like more time with Aabhinna, how do we get in touch with you?
So I will send you my email ID and details. Gmail.com, and I am available as the @SuperASK all across any platform, right?
Excellent.
So
excellent.
very active on Twitter, less here. And I will also do is I will send you certain templates which are inbuilt by me, which I have built, which will let you manage this. And anywhere you are stuck, drop me a mail, message, WhatsApp, and I will be very happy to help you.
That's wonderful. If there's popular demand, maybe we can have a follow-up session to this, because I'm curious about how things get into Notion, how do you get things out of it. I'm also curious about, I run a hybrid system of a notebook and an electronic notebook, and I'm curious about other people who might be doing the same. If you work in a digital world, it works well in having a digital notebook. But if you're working in a, like a brick and mortar world, it may be different. So there's a lot of follow-up questions that I'm curious about. There was a question about privacy on Fireflies and Otter, but we're out of time. So what I would like, Alex, if you have the link for the survey, there's enough of you on here that I can make this announcement. If you don't fill in the survey, you're not getting the Christmas socks that I've been sewing for you. So everybody's getting individualized Christmas socks, but only if you fill out the survey. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, you're still getting socks. So unless you don't fill out the survey, okay? So I'm keeping track of everyone. By the way, I'm not making, there's no socks, by the way, there's no socks. Please fill out the survey. So we just want to have some feedback. It's very useful for us to hear back from you on any follow-ups that you might want, or if there's any things that you'd like to see done next time around. So the survey link is in the chat. Thank you very much. Alex, any announcements from your side?
Yes, so thank you so much, Aabhinna. It has been enlightening, and I have learned so much from you. So thank you very much for your time. Very productive, very efficient. And I'm sure that we'll be coming back for some follow-ups. Thank you so much. And Nikhil, you're doing a fantastic job moderating and getting us engaged and involved. So thank you so much, Nikhil.
I'm very humble.
So what I wanted to say is that some housekeeping from me. So today we are the 1st of December. Next week, we have an amazing global speaker called Morgan Housel. He's going to speak about the psychology of money. It's happening on the Thursday, 9th of December. If you have not registered, please do. I know that a lot of you have received the calendar invite. This is really to put it in your life, as Aabhinna said. So it's in your calendar, but please do register it. Register for it formally on the EO Hub. This is very useful because EO Global has a visual on how we are doing on events. So thank you so much. That's on the 9th of December, and we are closing with a final event for the year. It's on the 16th of December. We are running a 3rd edition of Doing Business in Africa. That would be with Zakaria George. A very interesting event. We will be posting the event flyer very shortly. So the 1st of December, today's done. 2nd event is on the 9th, and the 3rd event on the 16th of December. So thank you so much. And if you are taking any questions, Nikhil, the floor is yours to close. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. So on the topic of calendar invitations. So as Alex has mentioned, we're sending them out to everyone. So the whole chapter gets a calendar invite. There is an issue on the EO Hub that if you use the add to calendar link, it won't bring across the time zone. So when it enters your calendar world, it's not going to have the time zone. The EO MEPA bridge default time zone, our home time zone, is GMT+3. So when it arrives in your calendar, you have to tell it, this is GMT+3, save it, and then it should show up at the right time wherever you are in the world. So I know this has happened for a few people, myself included, where it shows up like an hour ahead, an hour behind it, and it can really throw you off. The other thing is on registrations. If you don't register, you don't get socks. So you have to register. You have to register. So the registration is important, even though it's on your calendar and you show up. If you don't register, no socks. So please register. Okay. EO means we start on time, we end on time, we're out of time. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please fill out the survey. I'll put the link in the WhatsApp as well if you missed it in the chat. Aabhinna, thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, your experience. Biggest takeaway for me, you said you attributed the quote to me, but I think it's 100% yours, is productivity is the art of forgiving myself. So I forgive myself for all the emails I haven't managed to slash out of the inbox today. So thank you very much. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Awesome.
Bye.